Oh my goodness, what the f is this? I'm sure we can make something an awful lot better. Welcome back to the channel, and today an episode of Manufacturer's Catalogue. As a reminder, in these episodes we build a number of real world cars on a GTA car, and a build sheet is provided at the end for you to screenshot for all the cars, so you don't need to make notes, you can just sit back, relax and enjoy. The car in question is of course the Ubermacht Cypher, which is heavily based on the BMW F87 version of the M2. One of the plus points, it's a tuner DLC car, so loads of options on this, really good fun to do builds on. On the downside, there's a bit too much carbon around the skirt area and certainly around the rear diffuser area that doesn't exist on the real car, and of course we don't have the BMW grills, but otherwise it's a great base, and we have 6 builds on it today. Before I start, let's modify this one. Well, there we are, it looks better already. Why does it look so pants? Well, it's because of course this is one of the ones that was available for the salvage yard, where you could rob and claim the vehicle, and to be honest that's all I do with my salvage yard, is once every 6 weeks or so when they kindly offer one, I steal it for myself. I have no idea why Rockstar customised these cars in quite such a revolting fashion, but perhaps it's just part of the humour of the game, I don't know. Anyway, the F87 M2 was introduced in 2016. Tons of power of course to the back wheels, a really feisty fun little coupe. And this is how it came out, as the standard car with the N55 engine. I was requested to build this car in Long Beach Blue, as you can see, and that was in fact the nucleus for this entire episode. You'll see on the sheet this standard build is very easy to achieve, it's mainly stock parts. However, there is one difference if you notice the wheels and the stance of this car, and that's because the stock wheels were very hard to do, and a lot of these cars have been retrofitted by the owners with TWS RS317 wheels, which look really like the Mercy wheel. So I put the Mercy wheel on to reflect those. And again, most people who put these sort of wheels on also lowered the car on KW3 coilovers. I'm very pleased with the colour. It took me quite a long time because the one on GTAcolours.com is just too dark. This works really well. In dark conditions it looks quite grey blue. As the sun hits it, it becomes more turquoise like you see here on a bright day. So try it yourself if you do crew colours, you'll love it. Next we'll look at a limited edition, the 2017 Performance Edition. They only made 150 of these and they were sold in the States. They had 19-inch rims, they had coilovers, and there were a few other tweaks and changes visually and on the interior. So it's a pretty simple build again, it's mostly stock, but if you look again I've taken a liberty with the wheel, because again the standard wheel was hard to make. I've seen photos of these cars also with an HRE wheel, the FF01, and guess what? It's just like the Hyperfresh wheel. And again, if you were fitting these, I bet you would fit coilovers. So this car is lowered, it's on HRE wheels, and otherwise it's a standard Performance Edition. Very simple and effective build. Of course there are many colours available for the stock car we just saw, but for this one you are restricted to white, and you could use either ice white, or here we have the crew white. The code is on the sheet of course. There's a reason we're using crew white, but it's not really for this car, it's for the next one, which came out in 2018, the M2 competition. Now they put in this, the S55 engine from the M4, albeit detuned a little to make it even feistier, with a number of other changes, but also BMW M Performance Division started to release some optional parts which could be retrofitted if necessary. Now, real owners could mix and match these parts, and so can you when you're building one. This car features the splitter with the little winglets at the end, the side skirts with little winglets, and the super ducktail. It doesn't feature the carbon bonnet with an exposed carbon hood, we can't really do that. It also doesn't feature the carbon roof, and that's simply because of the livery I've put on the car, which was also an available livery on these, so you could build one just like this if you wanted. As a warning, you'll need to be able to do crew colours because this is pure crew white. And if you don't use crew white, you get a lot of white writing on this livery poking through. I'm going to link a video below that's going to explain that in more detail. The Ice Storm wheels are not perfect for competition wheels due to the chrome rim, so you could go back again and put these Mercy wheels on if you want, again pretending you have the TWS wheels on the car. I say there's a lot of mixing and matching you can do, or you can get more modern, because in 2020 we got this, the CS. So how to make a fantastic car even better? How about a 444 horsepower ECU to your M4 engine, adaptive M suspension, an E-lock diff, the hood and roof in carbon composite, more lightning features for the car, unique wheels in black or gold, that front splitter that we saw was previously optional, and a carbon roof, and some red stitching. So the one you're seeing here in Misano Blue Metallic, which is a gorgeous colour, can be basically made with Ultra Blue in the game, has all those parts on, but a few extras. It has the carbon hood, which is a different style because the CS has a hood with a sort of big vent in it, and it has the side skirts as well and the super ducktail from the M Performance parts. Looks absolutely stunning. Watching this back in the edit, I think I would have preferred to not have the carbon hood, but as described with the M Performance parts, that is the beauty. You can mix and match to get it just the way you want. If you want something wilder, consider perhaps a car from Manhart. Now do hit the internet, do look at other Manhart cars. Some are easily achievable in games, some not. This is the MH630. Now Manhart concentrate a huge amount on what's under the skin, the suspension, the engine, that sort of thing, but they also deal with some of the visuals of the car. So there's some of the different parts on this one to get as close as we can to the MH630. I think the biggest fail perhaps on these are the wheels, because I've picked ones that are accurate in spoke, but it's made them too deep dished and chrome. Although, you know, I think the deep dish looks gorgeous on this car like it used to on old BMWs, but of course the hubs on this car would not really ever be able to take those wheels, so you might want to do something different with the wheels, but maybe a different option on. I featured Manhart builds before, either as part of garage tours or even as distinct episodes, like the recent one on the Niobe or the i8. And yes, as mentioned before, well worth googling all the different Manhart things that you could build. Or you could make this. If you're enjoying this so far, the information, the builds, whatever, I would really appreciate a like. It would mean so much to me, so thank you in advance. This is how I'm going to store the car for the foreseeable future. It's in a unique colour. I believe it was resprayed from what I can see on the video of this car. The car was made by NV Motorsports in the UK, hence the registration plate on the car, and it developed 625 horsepower, and you may not be too amazed because some other cars of this type have done that, but they did this on an original car with the N55 engine, so it needed race fuel. It was 500 and something on road fuel, but certainly made it extremely powerful, and they used their own wheel on the car, which looks basically the same as the Superlux wheel in game, so we could replicate the wheel. I sampled the crew colour myself. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got very close. I put the parts on from the catalogue that we talked about before, and I think it's come out looking really, really good. I'm very, very pleased with this. I like the aggression mixed with the simplicity, so as I say, that's what I'm keeping. If you're going to build or rebuild your Cypher, and if you're going to use any hints and tips from this video, any of the parts I mentioned, I'd love to hear down below. That would be really, really good. Of course, do sub if you like real cars in GTA. There may not be another manufacturer's catalogue for a while, because I need a lot of inspiration. The car needs to have a lot of builds, and it is an awful lot of work, but undoubtedly this will not be the last one. But coming up next, we're going to have a Brabus garage tour. That'll probably be next week, and also of course plenty more in the Let's Build series. Remember to screenshot the build sheets that are coming up now at the end of the video, and thank you so much for watching.